Hello, everyone, and welcome to week 4 of the Oxrageous podcast. Can you believe it's week 4 already? Before you know it, the season's going to be over again, and we're going to dwindle into another depressing off-season that seems to go on forever, especially with the expectations of this Gator team, because next year, I think we're going to have a heck of a squad. And I still think we can make a little noise this year. So, it is Tennessee week, and it's good to see that the Tennessee fans have stuck with their annual tradition of declaring that they're going to beat us. I mean, this year's the year, don't you know it? Butch Jones has assembled a powerhouse, and they're going to waltz into Ben Hill Griffin Stadium and end that streak once and for all. I mean, isn't that precious? Aren't they cute? I'm going to go ahead and just jump into your questions. Did Will Grier do enough? And of course, we always start with a quarterback question. Did Will Grier do enough to secure the starting job for the rest of the season, barring any injuries? Coach Mack, of course, wouldn't confirm or deny in his post-game interview. That was a question by Del Gator. Concerning Will Grier, he played like a freshman last week. And in this day and age, when everyone wants instant gratification, it seems harder and harder to allow freshmen to play like freshmen. We have to give these guys a little bit of slack. They're going to make some mistakes. They're going to make some dumb throws. They're going to make some dumb runs. They're going to cough the ball up. You're going to curse at them. That's what freshmen do. But he really stuck in there. He showed some leadership. He definitely showed some toughness at the end of the game. He was definitely too quick to run on a few of those plays, maybe a little bit of early panic, running too early instead of letting the play develop. And he did throw that interception in the end zone, which was a classic freshman pass there. But it's all part of the learning process and getting better. He doesn't seem like a guy that gets rattled very easy. I will say that. And despite Max saying that both quarterbacks are still involved, I think he's going to ride with Grier unless he completely melts down out there. I certainly don't think he's on any kind of a quick pull. I think we proved that last week. I think he wants to stay in there and get better and work through mistakes. However, I also don't think he wants to destroy the guy's confidence. So I think if he felt like Will Grier's confidence was getting damaged by staying out there, I think he would pull him. Otherwise, I think he's going to leave him in there. That leads me into the next question. If we are down to Tennessee in the fourth quarter, and Grier played a similar game to his one at Kentucky with turnovers, balls in the dirt, etc., does Treon go in to save the day, or does Mack risk breaking the streak at home to a rival so as to let Grier get that experience? That question was a mouthful from Carib Gator. And in the situation described there, I'm going to stick with the answer I already gave you, that unless Mack thinks Grier's confidence is going to be permanently rattled, he's going to leave him out there. I suppose I could be completely wrong about that, and I guess time will tell. But it's just a feeling I have. Coaches always say they're going to go with a guy that gives them the best chance to win, And I think Mack thinks that Will Grier gives them the best chance to win. So why would you pull him out? Now, if he's playing horribly and he's turning the ball over and over and over again, it's a different story. He's going to get yanked. I guess what I'm trying to say here is that, in my opinion, Treon Harris is the backup quarterback, and it simply hasn't been made a formality yet by Coach Mack. Okay, next question. Demarcus Robinson was mostly absent against Kentucky. Does he get out of the doghouse with a breakout game? Another question by Carib Gator. I really don't know what's going on with Robinson. Lately, we've only gotten him the ball through a Muschamp-esque sideways passing game where you throw it along the line of scrimmage and hope the guy makes 4 or 5 guys miss to make a miracle 5-yard gain. And even getting those, he gets the ball and he does a little break dance and he's dancing around back there. He puts on 3 or 4 moves and then dives ahead for a 2 or 3 yard gain while everybody's screaming at the TV, "Just go forward!" I mean, did that happen to you? Because I know it happened to me watching the guy do a boogie down there with the ball. I'd hate to be him in the film room this week, sitting there with the team watching that, because it was really kind of silly to see. I think it's obvious he's still in Mac's doghouse. Whether it's because of an attitude problem or a practice problem or work ethic, or maybe the fact that he is a dancer and not a runner. We also know he runs his mouth a lot on the field. So we don't really know what's going on behind the scenes, but it's obvious he's going to have to work his way back up into Mac's favor. Instead, we got freshmen like Callaway out there making miraculous one-handed grabs. Those are the kind of plays that Robinson was supposed to be making at this point. So all you can say is, when it comes to Coach Mack, you better shape up or you're going to be sitting there on the bench while freshmen pass you by. And I think that's the way it should be. Get the players who really want to be out there on the field. Seniority should not matter, and I don't think it does much with Coach Mack. Okay, next question. Will our vaunted defense ever stop giving up inopportune third or fourth and long plays to extend opponents' drives? Del Gator asked that question. Our defense, our vaunted defense, as he put it. Let's talk about the stats first. Florida's ranked 11th overall in college football, which is pretty good in total defense. If you break that down, though, it's 7th against the run and 57th against the pass, which is pretty interesting, seeing as how the Gators had what many people thought was the best secondary in the entire nation this year. And there was a lot of whining about how the secondary played against Kentucky, even though Kentucky was only 8 of 24 passing. But there were some big drops on the Kentucky side, and Florida was definitely fortunate in a lot of those areas. The corners have been everything we could ask for. I mean, there is no better corner tandem in the league than Tabor and Hargraves. It's a safety play that's been all over the map. And just like screaming at Robinson with the ball in his hands to run forward, how many people have screamed at Brian Poole over the last couple of weeks? What are you doing? Where are you? How could you miss that tackle? You know, what he seems to be wandering around aimlessly out there. Neil mentioned, I was reading, that he felt there was a hesitancy from a lot of the members of the secondary, from what he thought, because they're playing a lot more zone this year. With Muschamp, it was almost exclusively man-to-man, and he just thought it was a transition period. You know, and I think it's important to realize that we're only 3 games into a new era, a new regime, a completely new coaching staff, and really a new system. And these guys are going to get better. They're going to get better on both sides of the ball. The more I think about it, the more excited I am about the future of Florida football. I think we're definitely heading in the right direction. And next year, there's going to be a lot of anticipation next year. It's so nice to get some of those expectations back and actually be maybe considered a factor again in the national race. It has been way too long. In fact, when was the last time we were even a ranked team? It's just been way, way too long. But in terms of the defense, give them a little more time. All right, next question. Why can't Harden make a field goal? Queen City Gator gave us that one. Who knows? You know, he's been around too long now to still be so inconsistent. He's not a freshman anymore. What was the deal with the low kick against Kentucky? A short field goal, low kick. There's really no excuse for it. I mean, all these kickers do all day long is kick. In practice, everyone's over there doing this, and what are they doing? They're kicking, and they're kicking, and they're kicking, and they're kicking. And then they get out there on the field on game day, and it's like they've never kicked before. They forget how to do it. It's really a strange thing. I don't know. I think the truth may be that Harden simply isn't a very good kicker. Yeah. Okay. On to Tennessee questions. Don't you love Tennessee week? It's been so long. It's been so long since we had a losing weekend on Tennessee week. I desperately do not want that streak to be broken. I don't know about you, but I find myself every week pulling so hard for the team that plays Tennessee. I just hate them so much and love to see them fail. Maybe I should be ashamed for thinking that, but the idea of losing to them again, it sticks right here. Picture losing to them. It seems incomprehensible. Fortunately, I don't think it's going to happen this year. Okay, these are 3 questions. They're all similar. I'm going to read them. They go hand in hand, so I'm going to read them all together. Question 1. What do you think will be the most important key to a Florida victory this week? That was Tennessee Gator. Next question. We have a much tougher game against Tennessee this week, and 14 points isn't going to cut it. Do you think we have a good chance of winning this game, even with our offensive line's youth and our red zone woes? The Big Claw asked that question. And last question, for a long time, it's been whoever could run the ball better won. Do you think that'll be the case this year too? We haven't exactly been dominant in the run game. And that was a question by Navit Gator. I read all those questions at once because they're all along the same theme, and that is the running game. And it's true that for many years, whoever ran the ball better in this rivalry won the game. I don't know what the ratio has been during this 10-year streak. I don't know if that's still the case or not. It seems like we beat Tennessee now no matter how good or bad we play. I mean, Will Muschamp went undefeated against Tennessee. Well, what else are you going to say? For the fun of it, I pulled up last year's box score, and I did see we outrushed them last year, 156-28. And last year we also managed 76. I was looking at that and thinking, thinking about the Spurrier years and Grossman and Leak and Tebow. And then we had games we were throwing for 76 yards. It still boggles my mind. It's going to take a while to get those games off the brain. I mean, at any rate, the 2 teams are both so different this year that last year's game is almost completely irrelevant. The question is, can the Gators run the ball on them this year? And not surprisingly, with our offensive line problems, we haven't run the ball very well. And it's not like we've been playing powerhouse defenses. We're ranked 81 in the nation rushing the ball right now. And there really just hasn't been any room to run. The good news is Tennessee hasn't been very good at stopping the run, and they're ranked 71st in the nation against the run. It's obviously important. It's typical to want to try to establish the run game early. I'm sure Florida will try to do that. Will Tennessee sell out to stop it? Overall, Tennessee's ranked 79th in total defense, and we're not talking about the 85 Bears here. I really hope they underestimate Will Grier and overplay the run, and he makes them pay. This is a team that gave up 424 yards passing to Bowling Green. They can be thrown on. On the flip side, is Josh Dobbs really going to test our secondary? He's a scattered arm guy. He's thrown for 5 touchdowns in 3 weeks. And, of course, 2 of those 3 weeks were against Cupcakes. The one decent team they played, Oklahoma, he was 13 of 31. And they went 3 quarters without scoring a point. And I can tell you, Tennessee is going to have a hard time scoring points on our Gators. I think we're going to have a home field advantage, a big one. And it's been a while since I've been able to say that. I think the crowd is going to be loud on Saturday. And I think Dobbs has not experienced a road atmosphere like he's going to experience. I think Florida's going to sell out themselves, try to stop the run, and make Dobbs beat them, and I don't think he can. I see Florida forcing Dobbs to throw a lot more passes than he wants to. And in doing so, there's going to be some turnovers and there's going to be some interceptions, and I see at least 3 interceptions from Dobbs, and probably one of those 3 taken back to the house for 6. So I'm telling you right now, we are going to have an easier time beating Tennessee on Saturday at home than we did against Kentucky on the road last week. I feel very, very confident of a double-digit win over the hated Tennessee Volunteers on Saturday. Okay, does Butch Jones survive this year if Florida wins and makes it 11 straight? Tennessee Gator asked that question. Can Tennessee afford to pay any more buyouts right now? I mean, I think they just finished paying Fulmer, and I'm pretty sure they're still paying Dooley, a guy that's working as a janitor now. Butch Jones cannot beat decent teams. Tennessee knew this when they hired him. He finds a way to lose time after time. He is 1-16 against ranked teams in his career. And of course, Florida was not ranked last year when we came back and won a game we had absolutely no business winning. It's just, his record is pathetic. But barring some kind of a complete meltdown, they're not going to fire him. Who are they going to turn to? He was 20th or 30th on their list in the first place when they were looking last time. Which is great news for us. The guy is one lousy game day coach, and I don't see that suddenly changing. He's been doing this long enough that he is who he is. All right. Final question. Do you think a win against Tennessee would make us real players in the East? And our very own T-Gator asked that question. And the answer is absolutely. If we win on Saturday, the East comes down, just like it has so many years in the past, to the Georgia game. Who else are we scared of in the East? South Carolina has the worst team Spurrier's ever had. Missouri is a complete embarrassment. Vanderbilt? The East, I can't remember the last time the East was this bad, and every single week there's another reminder about how bad they are. They're not improving. Most of the teams are getting worse. So Florida is players. There are players in the East now. If we beat Tennessee, it's us and Georgia, and that's it. And Georgia is far from unbeatable themselves. So we beat Tennessee, and Florida might actually start getting some national talk again. I don't know how long it's been. May not be ranked, but one step at a time. Well, before we go, I decided to, since Florida football has been so unpredictable, and with a new era, we really don't know what we're getting from week to week, I was going to ask the Magic 8 Ball what he thinks of our chances on Saturday. So, Magic 8 Ball, who will win? Well, let me ask it a better way. Will the Florida Gators beat Tennessee on Saturday? Now, here we go, moment of truth. Better not tell you now. That's a real help, isn't it? So see, not even the Magic 8 Ball knows how our Gators are going to play on Saturday. The 8 Ball doesn't even know. So we could just pray. Let's just pray and hope for the best. But I really think the Florida's going to keep improving. We get down, we see all the mistakes. Oh, they're missing this, they're doing that. It's still a new system. It's a new coach. It's a new system. There's a lot of talent out there. We're going to get better and better and better, and we're going to drop a few on the way. But I'm telling you, the next few years are going to be fantastic. Very excited about it. So come on out and visit us on GatorChatter.com. We had a fantastic day. Last Saturday, it was a road game, so there was no one at the game. Everyone came to Gator Chatter. And we had a good time. It's a great way to commiserate with fellow Gator fans, enjoy the ups and downs with others. Really appreciate you listening to this podcast. As a reminder, you can subscribe to the podcast on YouTube, or you can download the free Stitcher app for the audio version, which will be delivered to your mobile device, and you can listen on the run. So it is Tennessee week. Get ready to run that streak to 11, Gators. It is going to happen. Everybody have a fantastic week, and go Gators.